All right, back working on this Honda today. For those that don't remember, it's a 1980 Honda XL250S, as you can see right here on the side panel. There's a couple of things going on with this bike. As you remember from the previous video, it has a hard starting problem and difficulty idling. That's one of the major problems with this bike. Since then, it's been sitting in my garage and then for a little while at my brother-in-law's place outside. And the throttle is very sticky now. It's kind of seized up. So I'm going to have to lube these cables right here perhaps. Take off this panel and maybe work on the carburetor a little bit. Try to free that up. See if the linkage is jammed up. And then try to get it started. One of the theories I have for hard starting is probably some carb work. That's probably the biggest problem right now. Secondarily though, this exhaust is, as you see, broken like so many of these bikes. You can't get these exhausts very easily. They're all rusted away and broken. You can buy new ones. They're about, I don't know, $200 or something. I'm going to try and do a temporary repair on this today and then get it started and see if it starts a little better with having correct back pressure, if that matters at all. And also, it'll be way better to try to get this thing running and keep it running when it's not so darn loud, because right now it's super loud with this muffler being disconnected. So stay with me here as we work on this today and see where this leads. I like PB Blaster for stuff like this. I used to use WD-40 to loosen everything up, but PB Blaster to me looks way better. Got the side cover off here. You saw there was 3 screws that came out. I used a flathead. It looks like they take a hex head as well. I also took the seat cover off by undoing this strap here that's on the shock. And I also undid the bolts here and here. And pulled the seat off, so now I can see a little better. So now I can see the throttle linkage a little better right here. I'm going to see if it even moves. Solid. It's not even moving, or I'm pushing it the wrong way. I'm gonna fiddle with it a little right now, but it seems like it's locked solid. The throttle won't move at all, forward or back, and even when I adjust it with my hand down here, it doesn't move. I wonder if the return cable that pulls it back is what's giving us grief here. But I try to move this pivot point that the throttle cable rests on. It's not moving at all. So maybe I'll disconnect the cables from the throttle linkage here and see if it moves freely without the cables.
After some time messing with the throttle linkage and cables, I realized they were not going to come loose, and nor could I even get them loose enough to disconnect them and rip the carb off. So I gave up and decided to fire it up with the starter fluid instead.
the Honda still runs, which is great news. I guess now I'm motivated to patch up the muffler and see what I can do there. But that's really good news. I'm happy to hear it running again after many, many months of neglect and sitting outside. I was not able to free up the throttle. I still don't know what's going on with that. To me, it could be jammed cables, or perhaps the carburetor itself is jammed, but either way, this thing's not moving. But now that I have it running, maybe I'll patch up the muffler, let it run like that a little bit, and then if I need to, I can take the carburetor off, I guess, or look up how to disconnect these cables. I don't even know how to disconnect these cables, to be honest. There's a cable up here, which I think is the return cable, and then there's the cable here, which I think is the throttle. And you'd think I could push on it really hard with my thumb here that it would move, but it's not moving an inch. So, well, muffler first, and then I'll move on to the throttle. For the muffler repair, I found this in my front porch storage area where I keep scrap metal. It's almost long enough to be good, so I'll try it anyway, and hopefully it'll just barely grab enough metal. You know what? I can tell already it's not going to work. It's just too short, unfortunately. What a shame. It's too short. I'll have to go back and look for some other stuff, but this would have been perfect. This thing shrinks and grows depending on the diameter of the pipe it's on, but I'll have to look for something better. Somebody else had the same idea I did. Maybe Honda or maybe someone else, but there's cuts in this pipe to try to allow a smaller pipe to fit on. I got a smaller pipe from Home Depot, it's just too small. Yeah, way too small. The rearmost pipe has already been cut to allow different sized pipes, I guess, so it can be pinched down. I'm going to try and make it wider and get that small Home Depot pipe inside it, hopefully without breaking it. Oh, not bad. Alright, so that part's in. Now the trickier part is how to attach it to this oddly shapen, ribbed remnants of a muffler here. You can see there's ridge on the top and ridge on the bottom. Right here and right here. So it's going to be hard to get a round pipe on there. I could cut a slit right here and maybe right here so that it might slide onto here better. Maybe I'll try that. Even so, it's going to be pretty small, but I've got the tube pretty far deep in here, so that's good. I'm not worried about this side anymore on the left. On the right, it's too long, I think, but it does fit on there to some extent. I can feel another burr on the bottom that I need to take care of right here. But if I flatten that out and then cut some grooves into the end of the pipe, this new pipe, I might be able to just stretch it over where I need. I'm going to try that next. Alright, I've got that on there pretty well actually. I beat down some of these ribs, twisted it on there, spun it around more to try to get it loosened up, and I can get some pretty good distance into that pipe. And I can go pretty deep into this one on the back. So I'm hoping I can go back a little bit, slide it over that, and then put it over top. But I'm going to cut this down a little bit shorter, maybe like here, and then put some grooves in the pipe as well to make it stretch over it a little. You know, maybe I don't even need the grooves. Maybe I'll just shorten it. We'll see. All right, cutting time. All right, I've got my cutting set up all ready to go. I've got my spinning wheel of death to cut it, my headphones, because that thing's really loud, and the goggles, or the plastic safety glasses. I'm going to take off maybe an inch and start there. Of course, you can always take off more later, but you can't add it back on. So I'll go conservative at an inch and see how that goes. I won't cut any grooves yet. I'll just see how it goes with the length first. The length is about right if I was trying to maximize the space inside this back pipe here, but I can't because I won't be able to get it in or on. So I'll have to shorten it some more, I think. Yeah, it's too long still. I'd say it goes to about here, right? And then I want it maybe to like here. That's at most. I might not have enough length to get it back on there, but because this is such a long pipe to get this on, this part. I'll take it down another inch. Meanwhile, I also opened this up a little bit. I had closed it up a lot to try to get this pipe over there, but I'm worried that the exhaust will be a little too restrictive, so I opened it up a little bit. Anyway, let's put it on. All right, not bad. Yeah, just like that. So now I can cut some grooves here and here and here and here, 4 grooves, so that the hose clamp I put on there will kind of grip the pipe a little bit. All right, I put some grooves in there, so that should help let the radiator hose clamp on there. We'll try this again. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh yeah, that fits great. Oh, okay, hose clamp time. I'm excited. I'm going to reuse some of the old foil exhaust wrap just to seal up some of the gaps here. I stuffed the exhaust manifold, I don't know what you call it, tape wrap, into the pipe between the old manifold and the new pipe, and that not only seals it up at least just as well, maybe better, but more importantly it provides more grip to the pipe that's clamped by the clamp, and also it allows the clamp to grip something of a larger diameter inside of it, a larger circumference, so that I don't have to tighten this hose clamp as much to get down to the point where I'm tightening it onto the foil. So that's great. This back area was a little better when I did it last time. It might be a little loose as well, but I'll put it right at the edge of the pipe here so that it gets the most leverage and the most impact on tightening this into the pipe. So that's next. Alright, it's in there pretty decent. Actually, this turned out a little better than I expected. I'll bend this away so I don't hit it when I'm kick-starting it, but with a few minor tweaks, like maybe trimming this or stomping on it to get it out of the way, I'm going to call that done for now, and I'll see how it sounds when I fire it up. Let's see. Well, it runs again. It's a little quieter. I mean, a lot quieter, but still pretty loud. So, progress anyway. Got some of the PB blasters smoking, and probably the sticker that was on the pipe, but I'm not worried about that. So, it's better anyway. So, next time I'll take a closer look at the carb. Maybe I'll take it off. I think I'll have to do some Googling and see why this thing might be stuck. So stay tuned for that on the Mind of Matter channel.